الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على الصلاة. حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
لا إله إلا الله. اللهم رب هذه الدار وآت محمد الوسيلة الفضيلة والدرجة الرفيعة. اللهم ومحمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء وأطهر المرسلين، شفيع المذنبين وحبيب رب العالمين، محمد صلوات ربي وسلامه عليه وعلى آله وصحبه الطيبين الطاهرين. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونستهديه، ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا وسيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له، ومن يضلل فلا هادي له، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأن محمدا صلى الله عليه وسلم عبده ورسوله. أما بعد، فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله، وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. In the name of Allah, the Compassionate, the Most Merciful, all praise is due to Allah. We bear witness that no one is worthy of worship but Allah, and we bear witness that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is indeed his final messenger. The best of speech is the book of Allah. The best of guidance is the guidance of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us amongst those who listen to the best of speech, the book of Allah, and follow His commandments. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us amongst those who come to know the best of ways, the way of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and make us amongst his followers. Allahumma ameen, Allahumma ameen, Allahumma ameen. أحباب رسول الله صلوات ربي وسلامه عليه. يبدأ الخطيب عادة خطبته بقوله وإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله. Every time a person gives a khutbah on Friday, start the sermon by asserting that the best of speech is the book of Allah. We want to see what is in the best of speech, the book of Allah, that speaks to what is going on around us today. فرعون أصيب بخيبة أمل وموقف كان محرج جدا جدا مع السحرة. خسر أول معركة مع موسى عليه السلام. So the Quran tells us that round one, the battle between Moses and Pharaoh, Pharaoh lost and lost miserably, and he was handed a humiliating defeat publicly. The magicians lost, who were representative of the Pharaoh. سحرة أتباع فرعون خسروا المعركة وخسر فرعون السحرة. Not only did the Pharaoh lose that battle, but he also lost the magicians that supposedly were working for him. That was embarrassing. It was publicly, فضيحة. It was a public embarrassment. But then the Quran tells us about what happened afterwards. وقال الملأ من قوم فرعون أتذر موسى وقومه ليفسدوا في الأرض ويذرك وآلهتك قال سنقتل أبناءهم ونستحيي نساءهم وإنا فوقهم قاهرون قال موسى لقومه استعينوا بالله واصبروا إن الأرض لله يورثها من يشاء والعاقبة للمتقين قالوا أوذينا من قبل أن تأتينا ومن بعد ما جئتنا قال عسى ربكم أن يهلك عدوكم ويستخلفكم في الأرض فينظر كيف تعملون. So beautifully the Quran tells us about what happened after this event. It said that the elites of Fir'aun, they got together in the palace. And what do they say? قالوا أتذر موسى وقومه ليفسدوا في الأرض. Pharaoh, are you going to do nothing about this Moses and his people spreading mischief on earth? ويذرك وآلهتك وفي قراءة شاذة وإلهتك يعني وعبادتك. Are you going to leave them while they publicly denounce you? They denounce worshiping you. They denounce the gods from which you descend. Are you going to do nothing about this? Pharaoh makes the following announcement. قال سنقتل أبناءهم. We shall kill their sons in great numbers. سنقتل صيغة مبالغة. That we shall kill their sons in great numbers. ونستحيي نساءهم. While simultaneously keep their women alive. وَإِنَّا فَوْقَهُمْ قَاهِرُونَ. And above them we are certainly irresistible. Because remember, the bully continuously wants to boast about how strong they are. The bully wants the bullied to be afraid, to be in awe of their power, to have respect for their power. So Musa alayhi salam, seeing that this announcement has been made, speaks to his people. قال موسى لقومه استعينوا بالله واصبروا. Seeing what Pharaoh is capable of delivering, Musa alayhi salam said to his people, استعينوا بالله. Seek the help of Allah, واصبروا, and patiently persevere. إن الأرض لله يورثها من يشاء. The land belongs to Allah, and He may give it as a form of heritage to whomever He wills. وَالْعَاقِبَةُ لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. And keep in mind that the future belongs to those who are God conscious. Wallahi kalam Musa alayhi salam jameel. You know, the advice that Musa alayhi salam gave to his people is a beautiful one. استعينوا بالله. Seek the help of Allah. اصبروا. Patiently persevere. Be of the attitude, al-ardu lillah. The land belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He gives it as a heritage to whomever He wills. وَالْعَاقِبَةُ لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. I know that the future, and know that the future belongs to those who are God conscious. قَالُوا أُوذِينَا مِنْ قَبْلِ أَنْ تَأْتِيَنَا. They said, "Oh Moses, We've been in this situation before you come to us. وَمِن بَعْدِ مَا جِئْتَنَا. And also after you've come to us, they're alluding to the fact that your presence has not made a difference. ما فرقت معانا. قبلك أوذينا، بعد ما جئتنا أوذينا. كأنهم يقولوا مش فارق معانا. وجودك من عدمه مش فارق معانا. You know, there is something about within the Jewish community, there is this mentality of presenting themselves always in the form of chronic victims. Always talking about how victims they are. Always talking about how we suffered this and how we were kicked out of that and how we suffered the Holocaust and how, look man, nobody celebrates the suffering of other people. A'udhu billah, haram. We don't celebrate the suffering of other people. But it's interesting that every time they speak about themselves, they want to talk about their suffering. When we black people talk about slavery, yeah, y'all need to get over that, man. That was a long time ago. Get over it. Do something. Stop being lazy. Move on with your lives. But the minute they speak about themselves, they can only speak in the form of chronic victimhood. What do they say? Musa, we've been suffering like this before you came. We've been suffering like that after you came. قال عسى ربكم أن يهلك عدوكم. It may well be, Musa alayhi salam now speaking to his people. He said it may well be that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala destroys and brings the demise of your enemies. وَيَسْتَخْلِفَكُمْ فِي الْأَرْضِ. And give you dominion over the earth. فَيَنْظُرَ كَيْفَ تَعْمَلُونَ. And then Allah will assess how well you do. Now that you are in charge, Allah will see how well you do. You were the oppressed. Now you've been given the authority. You've been given the dominion. We want to see what do you do with it. Paulo Ferreira, a great book called The Pedagogy of the Oppressed. He speaks about a condition when the oppressed become the oppressor. When the oppressed become the oppressor. يعني اللي كان يعذبهم فرعون أصبح كل واحد منهم فرعون لحاله. Those who were tortured by the Pharaoh, when they got their opportunity, they themselves, each and every one of them, became another Pharaoh. When the oppressed become the oppressors. So Allah said, فَيَنْظُرَ كَيْفَ تَعْمَلُونَ. And then Allah will assess how is it that you're going to perform. Now that you have the power, now that you've been given the dominion, let's see what you are going to do with it. Remember this, my brothers and sisters. See, subhanallah, genocide does not happen in a vacuum. Genocide goes into different phases: classification, symbolization, polarization, discrimination, dehumanization, organization, annihilation, justification, and then denial. The most crucial component of these phases is dehumanization. التجريد من الإنسانية. Because when you dehumanize people, you are most likely to have moral justification for what happens to them. Because you view them from now on as subhumans. They're no longer human beings. They are below humans. They may be above animals, but they're not fully human beings. What have you done? Dehumanized them. If you look into Europeans, mid-1800s till the 1920s, 30s, 40s, and you see the depictions of the Jewish community by Christian Europe. They're the vermins. They're the rats. Man, again, we are reminding ourselves of what was happening to this community and what they are doing now. And by no means this is condoning of this behavior. We're just reminding ourselves of where did these people come from and what are they doing now. We constantly use, oh, this person is from the ghetto. They live in the ghetto. You all know where that word came from? The ghetto. It was the houses dedicated to the Jewish community in Europe. Things were so bad in the ghettos that during Christmas time the police had to come and protect the ghettos because these people were seen as the killers of Christ. Every single December people would want to come, kill them, and burn them because they lived in these so-called ghettos. Venice, Italy was the first time that these places were called the ghettos. Now what we see now is the process of dehumanization is now reversed. They are now practicing what was practiced against them. They were dehumanized, and now they are dehumanizing those who are around them. Heard the rabbi quoting the book of Deuteronomy. He said, chapter 24, even the Lord said it. The Lord said, have no mercy. Kill each and every one of them. Kill all the babies. Kill all the women. Kill the elderly. Leave no one. He spoke with moral justification that it was okay to kill babies. This is a religious leader, looking all rabbi-like, and he was speaking about how justified they felt that it was okay for them to kill babies. You know, when you see babies dying, man, you're moved. That's bad, man. That's horrific. That's terrible. Only a pharaoh does this. Only pharaohs do that. You move by this. But to these people, to some of these people, and that's fully justified. That's okay. That's okay. You can kill them babies. You can do this to them babies. You say, what are you? Do you know what was happening to you? These are the very same things that you complained about. Now you yourselves are doing it to other people. When you see them celebrating the suffering of other people, there was actually a settlement back in 2019. When Gaza was being bombarded, you had these people sitting on their chairs, and every time there was a blast, a bomb exploded in Gaza, these people would be cheering and they would be clapping. Alayhim la'natullah. May the curse of Allah be upon them. To sit like this and celebrate the suffering of people like that, and that's terrible. It takes away a bit of your humanity. You can no longer remain to be fully human while you celebrate these things. And then, sad part is this, hypocrisy. Man, the amount of hypocrisy that takes place is just unbelievable. Unbelievable. Nowadays, you cannot, they are the untouchables. You can criticize the United States. You can criticize the president. You can criticize China. You can criticize anybody on planet Earth. But oh boy, if you ever criticize Israelis, if you ever remotely support the Palestinians, or you are an anti-Semite, you will be labeled as an anti-Semite immediately. Harvard law students, they signed a document holding Israelis responsible for what's happening in Gaza. The next day, you see a truck, a billboard truck, driving around the city with their names and pictures labeled as anti-Semite. Air Canada pilot takes a picture with a Palestinian kufi, puts it on his social media. Next day, he's fired. People who play soccer, celebrities, just like, look man, y'all need to stop the suffering of the people of Gaza. You are an anti-Semite, suspended. Contract is vanished. Students in Ivy League universities, smart, brilliant students, put on their social media that they support Palestine. People are taking notes so that big companies will not hire them when they graduate. A woman, Indian TV, she's wearing a sari, a traditional Indian sari. The color of it happened to be green, red, and white. She was criticized, why are you wearing these colors? because that represents the Palestinian flag. She said, look, man, my grandmother gave it to me. I wasn't even thinking that, well, next time you don't wear this stuff like that. You following what is going on? The amount of hypocrisy. You can criticize anybody, but if you remotely support Palestinians, speak about the suffering of the people of Gaza, speak about the suffering of people of the children of Gaza, you be labeled as anti-Semite. And if this is what it means to be an anti-Semite, wallahi, I am proudly anti-Semite. If supporting suffering people makes you an anti-Semite, then I am. But the sad part is this. This is something that so beautifully was said by Dr. King, Martin Luther King Jr. He said that the most dangerous man in the world is the man who has nothing to lose. You bomb their house. You kill their families. What is left of that man? You have just created your absolute worst enemy. You created the most dangerous man, because the most dangerous man is the man who has nothing to lose. And that's what you've done. And that is what you continue to do. This will never grant you peace. May Allah never grant them peace, Ya Rabbal Alameen. If this is how you want to achieve peace, may Allah never grant it to you. Not in this life, not in the hereafter, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Causing suffering of people does not, it only increases the number and the amount of resentment and hate that people have towards you. A hypocrisy, man. You can support the Ukraine. It's all good. You can be watching a game and everybody's holding Ukrainian flags, and that's good. You can demonstrate for the sake of Ukraine, and that's good. But now democracy comes to an end. You cannot demonstrate. It's illegal in France to demonstrate. People did it anyways. It is illegal in Italy to demonstrate. People did it anyways. Wait a minute. We thought that's the case. What about human rights? See, there is something so beautifully being said. In the West, people genuinely care about human rights. Overall, it is true. Western countries have better human rights record than the rest of the world. It is very true. Not even arguing that. But see, they say that the problem in the West was never about human rights. Problem in the West has always been in determining who's human. A problem was never about human rights. Problem has always been whether you are accepted as a human or not. And they get to decide, so-called, who they deem to be human, and then they're worthy of human rights, and who is not human, and therefore they are not worthy of human rights. So what do we say? And we do what Musa alayhi salam was telling them. Sta'inu billah. Seek the help of Allah, and if Allah helps you, and you won't be defeated. Sbiru. Patiently persevere. Inna al-arda lillahi yurithuha man yasha. The land belongs to Allah, and He gives it as a form of heritage to whomever He wills. And always know, وَالْعَاقِبَةُ لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. The future belongs to those who are God conscious. The near future, the far future, the future in this world, the future in the hereafter belongs to those who are God conscious. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us amongst those who are God conscious, Ya Rabbal Alameen. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. الحمد لله وكفى صلاة والسلام على رسوله المصطفى وعلى من بآثاره اقتفى. Can't help but within the Jewish and the Christian community there are those who are absolutely beautiful. We love them, we respect them, we appreciate them. Who is leading the demonstrations in Washington DC right now? Members of the Jewish community. Jewish people who are going to Congress saying, do not do this in our name. Not in our name. Do not do this in our name. What you are doing to the people of Gaza is unfair. Don't do that. These are the people that we want as our allies. These are the people that we love. These are the people that we appreciate. These are the people that we can call our neighbors and our friends with pride. Allah said, these people, لا ينهاكم الله عن الذين لم يقاتلوكم لم يخرجوكم لم يظاهروا أن تبروهم وتقسطوا إليهم. These types of people who never fought you on account of your religious beliefs. They did not drive you out of your land, nor did they help somebody else to drive you out of your land. Allah said, deal with them with equity and with the best of manners. May Allah protect them all, Ya Rabbil Alameen. These are people who are willing to go to jail. They've gone to jail or be blocking the street, taking the time off and saying, look man, I am Jewish and you cannot be doing this in my name. We celebrate these people, respect these people, appreciate these people, both Jews and Christians. And we want to do that because again, it's so easy nowadays to be labeled as an anti-Semite. And that is sad, man. That is very sad. Last point, inshallah, is this. Please do not be a downer. We in the Muslim community, you should not be a downer. Propaganda is very, very ridiculous. And it's making people do the unthinkable. Consume Fox News all day long. What did we see? A 71-year-old idiot knocks the door of the neighbors. 26 times stabs a 6-year-old baby. How sick are you, man? I just found out that this idiot knew this family. So when he knocked on the door, mom sees who it is. Oh man, this is our neighbor. He's actually was helped build a house, small children house with her son. Open the door. He comes in, what does he do? 26 times he stabs a baby. Why would you do that, man? Why would you do that? Because they've been hearing this propaganda. That is part of genocide, propagation, dehumanization. And as he is stabbing him, what is he yelling? I don't want him to grow up to be a Muslim. La'natullahi alayh. May the curse of Allah be on him. Demented like this. That's why it's very important. A good number of people out there are uninformed. They're not necessarily evil. They're just uninformed. And that is why it's very important that we tell our stories, brothers and sisters. Most people don't know. See the images that you see because of the people that you follow, because of the news channels that you watch. Other people have never seen it. And that's why they think what they think. So what do? Share. Speak up. Now is not the time to duck down. It can be very expensive. Don't count much on politicians. Nowadays, any politician that remotely sides with the Palestinians, and that is political suicide for them. So what do you count on? People that you know. Speak to people. Be the voice for those who are voiceless. Make it clear as to where you stand. Celebrate the bravery of the people of Gaza, the steadfastness of the people of Gaza. Celebrate how they're taking this. SubhanAllah, you see these people say, man, what's going on? And the father would come say, man, 2 of my boys, man, alhamdulillah, they're shaheed. Insha'Allah, I'll be reunited with them in paradise, Ya Rabbil Alameen. That's how people talk. That is how people, man, that beautiful yaqeen. Certainly, man, they die like this, man, oh, insha'Allah, we are destined to paradise. That's a beautiful attitude. But most important, be the voice for those who are voiceless. Let's begin by rectifying our own affairs, becoming better people, so that when we raise our hands to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, our prayers are heard. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help the people of Gaza. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bring an end to their suffering. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala destroy those who want to destroy them. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give aid to those who are trying to help them and make us amongst them. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala disgrace those who have let them down and not make us amongst them, Ya Rabbil Alameen. If anybody has died in Gaza, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept them as martyrs. If anybody is injured, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant them a speedy recovery. If anybody is fighting this oppression, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give them aid, Ya Rabbil Alameen. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. عباد الله إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون فاذكروا الله يذكركم واشكروه على نعمه يزدكم ولذكر الله أكبر والله يعلم ما تصنعون. أقم الصلاة.
الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح. قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
لا إله إلا الله. سووا استقيموا واعتدلوا. الله أكبر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. ولا تحسبن الله غافلا عما يعمل الظالمون إنما يؤخرهم ليوم تشخص فيه الأبصار مهطعين مقنعي رؤوسهم لا يرتد إليهم طرفهم وأفئدتهم هواء وأنذر الناس يوم يأتيهم العذاب فيقول الذين ظلموا ربنا أخرنا إلى أجل قريب نجب دعوتك ونتبع الرسل أولم تكونوا أقسمتم من قبل ما لكم من زوال وسكنتم في مساكن الذين ظلموا أنفسهم وتبين لكم كيف فعلنا بهم وضربنا لكم الأمثال. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. وقد مكروا مكرهم وعند الله مكرهم وإن كان مكرهم لتزول منه الجبال فلا تحسبن الله مخلف وعده رسله إن الله عزيز ذو انتقام. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. تحيات الصلوات. اللهم صل على السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. استغفر الله استغفر الله استغفر الله استغفر الله. اللهم أنت السلام لا إله